He is the participant for this assignment. So I have a couple questions before we start. So obviously I already have your name and today's date. Can you tell me your age?
I'm 37 years old.
Okay. And how tall are you?
6 foot.
Okay. And how much do you weigh?
I'm currently 240 pounds.
And how active would you say that you are?
I'm fairly active. I usually go to the gym 3 to 4 nights per week.
Like moderately active?
Moderately active.
Okay. And then do you take any supplements?
I do take men's multivitamins. I do take pre-workout supplements and protein supplements as well.
Okay. So basically what we're doing is a multiple pass assessment method of everything that you have ate from yesterday, from midnight to midnight. So everything that you consumed yesterday. So the first thing I want you to do is to just use that piece of paper and make a quick list of everything that you had, including, any beverages, water, snacks. And sometimes it's helpful to think of what you did yesterday. That kind of can help jog your memory if you forget anything.
Right. Okay, I believe that's
Alright.
everything.
Cool. Alright, so I'm just gonna take a quick look at this and Alright, cool. There's nothing else.
Oh,
That's it.
there was one thing I forgot.
Okay.
I apologize.
No, you're good.
Forgot my morning smoothie. Alright, now we're complete.
You didn't have anything else like before you went to bed?
No.
Okay. Alright. So I'm just gonna write these things down real quick, and then what we're gonna do is get a little bit more detailed of an idea of what you had. And just get this stuff down. So we're gonna go back through this list, and I just want you to tell me roughly what time and where you were when you consumed this. So we'll start with the smoothie. So you had a kale pineapple smoothie with banana. Around what time do you think yesterday?
It was about 7 a.m. yesterday.
Okay. And then, where were you? Were you at home? Were you driving?
I was home.
Okay. And then how about for your iced coffee?
I had that at 8 a.m.
Okay.
I stopped and picked up a coffee.
Okay, so you were driving.
I was driving.
Okay. Alright. And then, so water. Did you have water all throughout the day?
I did, yes.
Okay. So how much water roughly do you think that you had? If you could take a guess.
I would guess probably 7 or 8 glasses of water for the
Okay.
day.
How
combined.
much water did you have in the morning? Do you remember?
First thing, probably an 8-ounce glass of water with
Okay.
my vitamins.
Just kind of throughout the day, at about 7 to 8 glasses.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll just put 7 to 8 classes. Okay. Okay, so then the cheeseburger. What time did you have the cheeseburger?
Approximately 11 a.m.
And where were you when you had your cheeseburger?
In the car, I was driving.
Okay.
Picked it up on the way home.
Okay. And so I'm assuming this was a fast food place?
It was.
Okay. Where did you get the cheeseburger from?
From the Burger Inn.
The Burger Inn. Okay.
In Woodstock.
I do forget there's that place there. Okay. So then we have a chicken burrito with rice and beans. Roughly what time do you think you had that?
That was approximately 2 p.m.
And where were you when you consumed this?
I was at a Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
Called 7 Tequilas.
Alright. And then lastly we have the churros and ice cream. Around what time do you think you had that?
That was actually after lunch, immediately after lunch for dessert, so around the same time. 2:30,
Probably like
we'll say.
2:30. Okay. Sounds good. And that was at the same place. Okay. Alright. So now we are going to go back through this list, and I just want you to give me really the best description you can of kind of the portion size of everything that you ate so we can get a good idea. So we'll go back through, we'll start with your smoothie. So it says you have kale, pineapple, and banana mixed into your smoothie. Do you know roughly how much of each of those you were putting into the smoothie?
I put about 3 chunks of pineapple,
Okay.
a whole banana, and probably about 3 to 4 ounces of kale, along with a little bit of water. And
Okay.
blended it up.
Alright. And did you have any of that smoothie left over, or did you drink the whole thing?
I drank the whole thing. It was approximately 12 ounces.
Okay. Alright. So then your iced coffee. Where did you get the iced coffee from?
From Black Rifle Coffee Company in Woodstock.
Okay. And was there any like added flavoring into your coffee?
Yes, I had the wild blackberry mocha iced coffee,
Alright.
also known as the Betsy Ross drink.
Alright. Do you know what kind of milk?
2%.
Okay. Alright. And roughly how many ounces was your coffee?
It was a 16-ounce coffee.
Okay. And did you consume all of it?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Alright, so with the water you said you had around 7 to 8 cups. So I'll just put about 64 ounces roughly.
Correct.
Let's see here. So you had water in the morning, throughout the afternoon, throughout the evening, just all throughout the day?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And so for your cheeseburger, did you have anything on the side with your cheeseburger?
Cheeseburger had lettuce, tomato, onions, and pickles,
Okay.
along with mayonnaise and ketchup.
Let's see, so I have- Okay, you said lettuce, tomato, onion, and what else was on it?
Pickle,
Okay.
mayo, and ketchup.
Alright. And let's see here. Roughly how big do you think the burger was? Like if you could, I don't know, maybe with your hands.
It's approximately an average size burger.
Okay. So then we have 2 chicken burritos with rice and beans.
Correct.
So with the burritos, I'm actually just gonna write some of this down. So I have this much room on here. Okay, so for the burritos, how much chicken do you think was in your burrito? If you could guess, you can use these cups also to kind of like gauge if you want to use that to kind of help you.
I would estimate about 6 ounces of chicken per burrito.
Okay. And then, do you think it was like an 8-inch or like a 10-inch tortilla, if you could guess?
I believe an 8-inch.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
Was it a corn tortilla or was it like just a flour tortilla?
It was a flour tortilla.
Alright, and then for your rice and beans, I guess using that, if you want to help you, roughly how much rice do you think you had?
I would say about 1 cup of rice.
Okay.
And approximately the same amount for beans as well.
Okay. And do you know what kind of rice you had?
It was just a Mexican style rice.
Okay.
And then just refried beans.
Okay.
With a little bit of queso sprinkled on top.
Roughly how much queso, if you could guess?
Maybe an ounce.
Okay. Alright. So, and did you just have water to drink with this meal as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Throughout that meal, I probably drank about 3 glasses of water
Okay.
with my lunch.
And actually, how much water do you think you had with your cheeseburger for lunch? Would you consider that your lunch that you had?
It was more of a snack.
A snack? Okay. So we'll make sure to put that in.
Because I didn't really have a full breakfast, so it was more of a snack until I ate kind of later afternoon.
Okay. So how much water do you
I just had like 1 glass of water.
1 glass. Okay. Alright. So then you have the churros or the ice cream. So how many churros did you have?
I had 2 whole churros.
Okay. How big were the churros?
They were small, about the length of. Actually, about the length of this is what the churro was.
Oh, okay. So more like a half churro.
Yeah, about
So
half.
you had 2 of those.
Yes.
Okay. And were these churros filled or were they plain? I know
They
sometimes
were
they're
filled with Nutella, actually.
Okay.
And it was served with a scoop of ice cream and whipped cream.
How much of the ice cream do you think you had?
About half of 1 scoop.
Half of 1 scoop, so probably like a 1/4 cup.
Yes.
Okay. And was it just plain vanilla ice cream?
Plain vanilla.
And then you said it came with whipped cream as well. Do you remember how much whipped cream you had? It's kind of hard.
I would say maybe about a 1/4 of a cup.
Okay. Alright. Let's see. Alright. Okay. So, let's see here. Alright, so we're just going to go back through everything one more time. I'm just going to make sure we didn't miss anything. If there's any other details about anything that you forgot. Other than that, then we'll be done.
Okay, sounds good.
So, the first thing you had was your kale pineapple smoothie with banana, and it just had water mixed in, no milk or anything like that.
Correct.
Okay. And then, did you have any water between your smoothie and your iced coffee? Because I know you say you kind of drink some throughout the day.
I may have had maybe a glass because I usually take my vitamins right around the time I do my smoothie or right after. So there may have been a cup of water in between that and the coffee.
Okay. Alright, and then you had your coffee, and then, alright, and then you had your cheeseburger at 11 a.m. You didn't have any side or anything like that, and you told me everything that was
Just
on
the
it.
burger by itself, yeah.
Alright, you said you had about 1 glass of water with your cheeseburger.
Correct.
Okay. And then it was around 2 p.m. that you had the chicken burrito with rice and beans, and you said you had about 3 cups of water with that.
Yes.
Was there anything else in the burritos other than the chicken?
Maybe some chopped onions.
Okay. Was there any cheese or anything like that?
There was cheese on top of it. A
Okay.
little bit of cheese on top of the burrito.
Okay. Was it like
and some
queso?
red sauce. It was a queso. It was
Okay.
queso and like a little bit of red sauce.
Alright. If you could guess, how much queso do you think was on top?
Not much, maybe an ounce.
Okay. Okay. And then right after that, around 2:30, you had your churros with ice cream, and you said you had about 2 half-size churros filled with Nutella,
Correct.
and you had about a 1/4 cup of ice cream with a little bit of whipped cream.
Yes.
Did you have any more water other than 3 cups with that?
Not with that meal, but I did drink some water throughout the rest of the evening.
Okay.
So that was like the last meal I ate, but
Okay.
I did drink water throughout the whole evening.
So after this point, roughly how much water do you think that you had after that? Because at this point, you've already had a roughly 5 cups of water.
Okay, so I probably had another 4 cups of water
Okay.
between the rest of the day, at least.
Alright. Alright, I think we're good.
All
Thank
right.
you.